Hey ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to go quickly over how to create alerts in our signal as a signal from TradingView and put it into Discord. So first things first, as an admin, make sure you go to edit the channel that you want to post into. Click edit. Integrations, hey, we got some webhooks. Click on the webhook that you want. I just created a webhook today. I called it MTM Signal Sniffer and the channel that it'll post to. Boom. Copy the webhook URL. You might have a little save button in case you change the name, change the iconography, whatever you want to do. Alright, now you got the webhook URL. Next thing you need is to go into the application itself. So here, for example, we're in TradingView. We need to create that alert. So we'll create an alert. Right click, add an alert. Okay. Inside of the alert, there's a lot that's going on. First and foremost, update your webhook URL so that way it'll send it straight to Discord and you're good to go. Next thing, figure out the conditions. There's two ideas that we have with this. One, you as a user want to annotate and tell to the customer that this price is crossing. But the other thing that you want to convey is what is the implied task that needs to be done because of this being crossed. So, for example, if you, right now it's just crossing, so it doesn't matter if it crosses up, down, whatever. It'll fire this event. We're going to go into these. So for example, right now I'm going to set a low thing, we'll say at 455. Right now it's at 470 or something like that. So if it crosses going down, then it means that the price is, maybe this signal is sort of like, hey, it's bottoming out or something. Well, that signal then might say you would want to buy puts, right? Or do something of that like. So maybe the message that you would want to do is, hey, SPY is crossing this, with this volume, invest in puts at whatever strike price you want to do. So this message is the thing that is going to be the implied task that you need to tell your consumer base to do. Otherwise, they're just going to see a message that says SPY crossing this. It doesn't mean anything to users. It doesn't mean anything to anybody but the person who really made it. So this message is going to be the defining criteria to say invest in puts, calls, what strike price you're thinking about, things of that nature. So that's going to be your bread and butter. If you're trying to set up alerts and you want to do an automated fashion, right? You want to make sure people know what they're going to be investing into. So you need to make sure that you define this correctly, but you can also make some of this sort of, normalized, right? I can say close with volume. So now, when SPY crosses, it'll tell me what the value was at that moment, as well as the volume at the time. You can also say, hey, well, we need to know what the ticker is, so let's put the ticker in there. So, ticker. Okay. And all this information is labeled here. You put that little question mark, exchange, ticker, price, volume. Simple and straightforward, and it gets very complex if you want. You got your times, you got your volumes, you got trading strategies. All of this information is very useful to you as an individual and allows you to sort of customize what you want. So make sure this bread and butter is set up how you want to convey the information that, hey, it's not just crossing this, but do a task. Now, how do we get this thing to fire? Obviously, if I click create, this is going to be fire, and it's going to fire when it crosses 455. Now, the idea is, hey, do you want it to cross? Or are you looking for it to cross up, greater than, using movage averages, something like that? Crossing might be the easiest for you to just say, hey, it's crossing. You know which direction, what side of it is going to be on. So crossing might make the most sense. But if you're trying to do something more complex, it's available to you. Similarly, alerts exist based on your user status, right? You can only have so many alerts at a given point in time. For example, if you want it to cross only once, then sweet. after it crosses once, it'll kill the alert. It's no longer needed anymore. Or you could do it every time. So essentially, no more than once per minute, but every minute it'll say, oh, it crossed this, it crossed that, it crossed this, it crossed that. That information there allows it to stay sort of, continuously give feedback and information to a user. Useful, yes, but without the defining message to sort of give insights, it might not suit your particular use case. Similarly, here, expiration. Do you want it to last a day? Do you want it to last 2 days, 15 minutes, whatever you want it to do? Maybe the equity that you're looking at you're not really sure when it's going to cross, but it'll cross at some point. Just say it's open-ended. If it's open-ended, it has no expiration. But when it hits it and it does it once, it'll delete the alert for you. Auto-delete, auto-cleanup. Every time, it'll be open-ended, but every time it crosses it, it'll keep doing it. So you'd have to manually delete it. I'm pretty big on the idea of just, having it be open-ended, having it cross maybe only once. Maybe create a second alert that does some additional information as like, maybe your stop loss or something like that if you're looking for entry exits, sell points, whatever you're looking for. Yeah, so defining that criteria is going to be pretty useful. I believe TradingView also has some utilities that allows you to auto-create signals based on what you want. So if you want to have a tool that auto-creates your signals, go for it. But the idea is for readability, you got to make sure that your consumers of this know exactly what is being stated and how they should react to it. Here, I'm just doing this as a quick sample. Now, ticker, crossing, close with volume. Information to know, doesn't really tell people where to invest, how to invest. Buy, sell, like buying or selling options, buying or selling those puts or calls accordingly, or at what strike price, or on the weekly. Depends on how you want to handle it. That message, like I said, approach that message and give that clear and clear content. Click create. Whoa, all right, cool. Now I have an alert up and running. Now all you gotta do is say, all right, cool, I got my alerts up and running. There's an alert button right there. Now we have this active alert that's waiting for 255. All right, you even see it right there. It's that little hashed line. Okay. Similarly, you can click on your alert tabs over here on the right, and it's going to tell you, hey, look, SPY crossing 255, and it'll send all this information. Now, you can see some previous alerts that have triggered and then stopped, triggered into stop, turned off. Some are still active. But that's how you set up a trigger, and that's how you set it to carry out your call. Other than that, now you just play the waiting game, and your Discord channel will get an update as it occurs. All right, thank you very much.